Okay, today on the Casady Stamps podcast, macOS 10 storage is being eaten. Canon cameras are now literally webcams. One of Nikon's lenses has been discontinued. A new nVIDIA graphics card specs have been leaked, and more. Yes, macOS 10 storage is actually being eaten. The image capture app, which is a part of the macOS 10, adds 1.5 megabytes of data to pictures it imports. The thing is, it can convert HEIC or HEIC to JPEG by unchecking Keep Originals. However, while it'll happily do that, this adds 1.5 megabytes of empty data to the picture files. Now, the reason why people use this is because it's a lot faster and more lightweight than the Photos app, which is slow and heavy. Now, 1.5 megabytes may not seem like a lot. However, importing 2,000 photos actually wastes 3 gigabytes of storage. Now, Apple is working on fixing it, but it has not been fixed, last I heard. Also relating to camera, Canon cameras are now webcams. Now, this is only DSLR, mirrorless, and PowerShot cameras. Sorry, Vixia and Legria users. Canon has launched a software known as the EOS Webcam Utility, which is currently in public beta in the US for Windows 10 users. Now, that being said, it is not compatible with other brands of cameras or cameras outside of the EOS line, like my Vixia. But if you do have one of those cameras, you can still use an HDMI capture card if it has clean HDMI output, which mine does. And also, for Mac users, the same applies, regardless of whether or not you have a compatible camera. There we go, much better. Canon's EOS Webcam Utility is designed with streamers in mind. However, it's also good for business conferencing if you use Windows 10. It does not work on macOS 10 or Linux. Now, what it's not good for is for content like this, which uses full-frame facecam and is going to YouTube, because the output is only, I believe, 576p. If you are doing full-frame facecam and recording it directly into something like OBS, it is definitely recommended to use a capture card. Also relating to cameras, Nikon's second generation Nikkor autofocus silent 200mm f/2G extra low dispersion virtual reality lens has reportedly been discontinued. The reason why this is suspected is because Nikon Japan moved it to their old product or discontinued list. A new one is potentially, hopefully, in the works, and it may have even been leaked last year, 2019. Finally, something not relating to cameras, although it is related to graphics. The nVIDIA GeForce 3080 Ti specs have been leaked. Judging by those specs, it appears to be an absolute beast, with up to 8,192 CUDA cores, 256 RT cores, and 1,024 Tensor cores. It has a boost clock speed of up to 1,750 MHz, which is great for a graphics card. Not good for CPU, but this is a graphics card, not a CPU. And it has a VRAM, that's Video Random Access Memory, speed of 16 gigabits per second. The total VRAM, along with TDP, which stands for Thermal Design Power, is unknown. And it is 7 nanometer technology. 7 nanometers, or nanometers.
Advice from Casady Stamps.
Okay, it is now time for Advice from Casady Stamps. Yeah, don't put your microphone 1.5 feet away from you. Also, don't bump the boom arm like I just did. Whether it's a dynamic microphone or a condenser microphone, get close. 3 inches or less. Now, with a dynamic microphone, what I'd recommend is 1 to 2 inches off, or I'm actually less. if you don't include the windscreen in the distance, although I think I'm probably still less. With condenser microphones, I am always 3 inches off of them. Having a microphone in the frame is not bad. However, if you do want to have a microphone out of the frame, generally your best bet is with a low bar shotgun microphone or possibly a pencil condenser. Boomers use those for movie production, although for documentaries, generally what they'll use is lapel microphones. And what a lapel microphone is, it's a microphone that clips onto your shirt or your lapels if you're wearing one of those fancy shirts. Also commonly known as a lavalier microphone, although there is a different kind of lavalier microphone. No one will leave your live stream or video because they see a microphone. However, people will click off because of terrible audio. For example, if I were to get this microphone out of the frame and then cranked my preamp, the audio would be absolutely awful. It's audio that's that bad. And to be honest, people like me, well, I'd rather see the microphone than not. Also, proximity effect is actually key to darkening your voice. So if I just got right up on top of this microphone and turned the gain down, this is what's known as the proximity effect. What it does is it adds smoothness and potentially announcer boom, radio announcer boom to your voice, among other things which are not quite as desirable. Now, I will say, proximity effect is much better than analog EQ, which in my opinion, it's better than software EQ. I'd rather EQ it before it comes into the computer than do it with the software. Now, speaking of EQ, you should use the microphone that requires the least equalization for you. Voice type, preference, and the frequency response of the microphones all play a role in how the audio sounds. If you prefer neutral, generally flatter frequency response is best. If you prefer a buttery smooth voice and or have a higher voice, you'll definitely want a darker frequency response. However, if you prefer to have a bit of grit in your voice and or have a lower voice, like me, both of those are true, you'll definitely want one with a brighter frequency response. Now, that being said, you should test out your microphones if possible. You can't know for 100% sure if you don't try. And be sure that you test multiple microphones so that you aren't, biased by the one you're actually testing.
This is YouTuber's personal. That's YouTuber's personal, everyone.
Hello, and welcome to YouTuber's personal. Diversification can be hard, because multiple channels are hard to manage. I mean, to be honest, for me, a main channel, a side channel, and a VOD/second gaming channel are enough. Whoa, pop filter. Variety/combined channels aren't the easiest to successfully do because of something how YouTube sorts channels and such. Something to do with that. They have content in categories people like, but also in categories that those same people don't. And to be honest, it is best to diversify at least a little, because one category content creation can very much lead to burnout. Hold on, I've got these on the wrong monitors.
Personal segment. This is it.
And that brings us to the personal segment. I ordered a pop filter, which actually is this guy, and rechargeable batteries, plus a charger with them. gear acquisition syndrome, or GAS, is very much a problem. Because another thing I bought was windscreens. And then my main headphones kind of died, so I had to order new ones. Now, my microphone and my arm arrived. As you can see, the box for the MBA 38 was crushed. However, the arm was in perfect condition. Now, I will say it did originally have XLR cable ties. I removed them because I'm not going to be using them. It can be permanent or clamp-on. I prefer clamp-on, plus I don't think a permanent mount would work very well in this cheap table. When out of the box, it was stiff. And it's huge. I mean, look at this. This is at way more of an angle than my old arm was. Now, with my microphone, the microphone and the box were both in perfect condition. Now, the microphone actually has the same foam structure as my mom's Audio-Technica ATM63HE. I mean, they are both Audio-Technicas. I will say the ATM63HE is discontinued, so yeah, don't go looking for it. However, this one is really heavy. Yeah, in fact, I was actually afraid that it would break my boom arm. I will say that the high-pass filter did tend to help with breath noises from my breath hitting it. However, I did have to put foam on to tame the higher frequencies, which is something I tend to do anyway. Yes, another webcam BSOD happened. I'm getting a camera capture card as soon as possible. Probably next month, if possible. Now, I will say, the weather is being Nebraska. It got cold again. Not winter cold, but you know. Another thing I'm looking at is getting a cheap guitar, but also looking at the Orange Crush 12 amp. Not sure which is coming first, but they are not coming this month. I can tell you that much. Also, another thing is, I ended up finding my old travelface. My old audio interface. The P to USB PP10, come on, focus. The P to USB PP10, there we go. The webcams do not tend to have good autofocus at all. The Q2U on B&H, which is the only place to get a silver Q2U, cannot order that color from anywhere else because that color is a B&H exclusive, is on back order, so I might need to use this again. I will if vacation does not end up getting canceled. Which of course brings us to what I've been testing. I have been testing this guy, the Behringer Ultra Voice XM8500. I have also been testing this guy, the Audio-Technica BP40, as well as the Samson MBA 38. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for. I really do hope you've enjoyed. If you did, then please do hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But anyways, this has been Sadie Stamps. Cheers for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.